Do you want to become a millionaire in your lifetime? Do you want to actually thrive as an adult and in adulthood? Well, my name's Elizabeth. I'm a 30-year-old teacher. I'm going to be a millionaire soon, and I want to share some advice on what I wish I would have known when I was your age so that I could set myself up for a more successful life. Money isn't everything, but it is the tool to be able to do what you want to do, so you definitely want to figure out how to make more of it. So the first thing I would tell you is that if you want to become wealthy, you need to specialize in a skill. You've been going to school for a while now, right? You've been in kindergarten and you're going on and on and on. The whole point is to gain and acquire knowledge. Now, the most rich and successful people, they have value and they have a skill that is specialized that they can get paid more money for. We can think about that just in general with, if you're a barista, you might make $15 an hour. If you're a cardiologist, you might make $200 an hour. You're getting paid more depending on the skill that you have. Because it takes more time and training to become a cardiologist. Now, does it make you a worse person or something if you're a barista, or if you actually really like doing that? I know I used to love playing grocery store and all those different things when I was younger, but it's not going to pay the same. And so if you can get a specialized skill that is hard to acquire or that is harder to acquire, and you're the go-to person for that, or you can solve that problem for a business, a corporation, another person, you're going to make more money. I would also recommend to increase your EQ. EQ, I thought it was IQ. It is. So there's the IQ, which is your intelligence level, but there's also a lot of different types of intelligence. So EQ is your emotional intelligence. Now you might be like, why is this lady talking about that? I thought we were going to talk about finances. Why are we talking about emotions? So a lot of rich and successful people actually share that if you have a high EQ, you are more likely to be successful. Richard Branson, the billionaire, is famous for saying this, and so many others. Your EQ is comprised of 4 different components. Typically, it will compose your self-awareness. How aware of yourself are you? Do you actually understand how you feel, how you think, why you act a certain way? Your ability to regulate and manage your emotions. How many of you ever feel angry? How many of you ever feel sad? How many of you ever feel stressed out and anxious? Okay, that's gonna happen, and especially if you are running your own business or doing something hard, or when you become an adult and you have a family and you have a spouse, and then you have a job, and then you have other things, you wanna take care of your health. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I wanna help you thrive, because you can, but it is a lot to figure out. And so if you can handle and manage and understand your emotions and regulate them appropriately, it's gonna be better. You can handle more. One of the books, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, talks about being bigger than your problems. You can be bigger than your problems and bigger than the hard things that you face, and the more hard things you can handle, the more likely you will be to be rich. And the other parts of emotional intelligence, I can pop them right here, but it is your social skills, because if you want to actually make more money, you can make a lot of money in sales or in business. You have to be able to make relationships, understand people, get to know people, etc. Now, I'm probably gonna give some unpopular advice, and you can take it or leave it. Some people say, I just wanna make a lot of money, and I totally get that. I had a job offer for like $200,000 to $250,000. That's a lot of money, right? But I would have hated the job. And so I decided not to take it. And so if you want to find something that you love, but that can also make you money, like that $250K or more, look for your Ikigai. Okay? I'm all about happiness, fulfillment, peace, and having the money. I don't want you to just have money and then have no time. Have no time for your friends, your spouse, your kids, all of that. I know you're still young, but that might be something you want or have eventually. So we're trying to talk about it before it happens. The absolute best way to find what you love and what you're good at, all that, is through Ikigai. Have you heard of that phrase? It's actually a Japanese term, and it has reason for living, right? Iki and then Gai. And it's your purpose. And so if you can find the intersection of 4 things, you will be richer and happier and more fulfilled. Those 4 things. What do you love to do? Write a list, put them down. What are you good at? So maybe you're good at certain things, but maybe you don't love it. Or maybe you're good at it and you love it. What is that? What can you get paid for? Maybe you put you love organizing closets or organizing and clothes. Guess what? You could actually get paid to organize. And another tip here is to solve problems for rich people or businesses or organizations that have a big budget. And so rich people, they care about their time and their energy. So they'd probably pay you to organize their closet, right? And then the last thing is what the world needs. So what is a problem? All these businesses is simply what the world needs. You might think, well, people don't need a closet organizer. Not everyone wants one, but there are people who want that. I was even talking to my students, I'm a teacher, and we were talking about some of the industries that make billions of dollars. Band-Aids. Would you think about that? I'm gonna go own a Band-Aid business or go own Band-Aids. $1 billion business. Paper. $1 billion business. So you don't have to get fancy. It's really some of the simple things. But if you can find the intersection or something that meets all 4 of those things, you're gonna be a lot happier and a lot more fulfilled, which that matters too. If you want to become rich and wealthy, you want to learn, what does the market value? Okay? One thing can be hard about this depending on your area. Do you live in a small town? What do you see? I think that can be so hard, and I want you to go expand or go online. Thank goodness we have technology that can expand us outside of our small towns. There's nothing wrong with a small town. However, we typically see what is around us, or we morph into what's around us. It's just how it works. And so if we just see that there's a job as a firefighter, there's teachers, there's nurses, there's people working at the grocery store, there's baristas, like, you don't see how many other jobs or opportunities or potential problems you can solve. And there's nothing wrong with the following jobs. Like, I have a lot of family members and I'm one of those jobs. But I just want to share, what is the market value? So even though those are really important jobs, firefighters kind of need to put out the fire. EMTs kind of need someone to go save someone's life. Teachers kind of need someone to teach the next generation where you're at school for 8 hours a day. But the market doesn't necessarily reward them as much. And so thinking about, what would the market reward? What industries? I could put some of the top industries here, but thinking bigger, thinking about systems, really getting to know yourself or getting to know other opportunities instead of just looking at what are the jobs of the people you know. That's a big part too. Some richer families or kids who are around richer families see different types of jobs or businesses or things that they do, and so they get that in their brain. But if you're not around that, you don't know there's other opportunities. And so the market values people who provide value. And value, you could think, right? Like a nurse provides a lot of value. But in the grand scheme of things, even though human lives are the most important, the market doesn't necessarily reward that as much. So it's just something to think about. Learn, learn, learn. I know I'm a teacher, so I'm just sharing. Please go learn. But it's critical. You want to be a lifelong learner, and you want to go try and experiment. You're young. You have time. You don't know how you're going to feel as an adult. That's the hard thing with anything, is that you can prepare and try to play life on offense, but you don't know until you experience it. Like, you could think, oh yeah, it's not going to be a big deal. When I was a software engineer, I was like, it's no big deal. Like, this is so exciting. I get to solve problems. But when I had to sit on my bottom all day and couldn't get up and didn't really interact as much with people, I was like, this is my life? This is what I chose? Ugh, I don't know if this is for me. And so sometimes it might take you in your life to experience something before you realize, I want to go a different path. But if you can prepare in advance and just learn about the opportunities, like I talked about, go job shadow, go find someone, start learning about how much does it cost to live in the area you want to live in. Or even if you don't know where you want to live, how much does it cost to live where you live? What type of salary would you need? What type of job would you have? What would it look like to do a high paying job that makes $200,000 a year, but you're working night shifts or you're working 80 hours a week? Is that really what you want? And then if you want a family, if you want these other things and health, you know, we just don't think about it as much, and we're not taught to think about it. So it's not your fault, but I just want you to think about it now. Invest in yourself first. I wish I would have known this. So I was super active and involved in my high school and in my middle school, but definitely my high school. I did so many activities. You know, you're into all the sports and you're the captain of this, captain of that. You're in the student council, you're in band, like whatever. I was doing all of these things, which was awesome. I was in the moment. I enjoyed my high school experience, but you're going to be an adult. And it doesn't mean that if you get involved in sports and activities, you're not going to be able to focus on your future or make money or things like that. But I would be careful because you want to invest in yourself. You always want to figure out, how can you be more valuable? How can you know what you want to do? How can you have more knowledge and skills to offer other people? The more knowledge and skills that you gain, you can offer them to other people and support them, right? Like when I started learning about money, and now I know a ton about money and investing, and I was able to write a whole book on it, 400 pages, everything I wish I knew about money and how to transform your life and how to start from zero and completely transform, and the mindset shifts and the habits of millionaires and the psychological tricks you need to think about and exercises to actually complete and go through. And then creating this investing ebook, 150 plus pages that shows you exactly how to invest, the pitfalls, the pros, the cons. Like that is being able to provide value to someone. Or even a lot of my understanding from psychology and emotional intelligence and connecting with people and working with kids and human beings for the last 15 years, I have some knowledge that I can share that is providing value. And so you always want to invest in your education, in your experience, in your knowledge. And so high school is fun, sports, those things are fun and they teach you a lot. But how can you invest even more into your own knowledge and your own health and your own understanding so that you can go be more valuable into the world? Now, I just want to caveat, remember, like you can enjoy the moment. You can enjoy your high school experience. You also are valuable just because you are a human being and a child of God. That's what I believe. And so it doesn't mean that you're more valuable, but the market has a certain idea of value. And so I just wanted to share in terms of money making. Now, I want you to invest in yourself. You are your number one asset, right? Have you heard of assets? Have you heard of that? So rich and wealthy people, they are owners and they're investors, okay? They want to own assets. They want to invest in businesses or things that will make them more money. They also make their money work for them. Okay? And so how they do that, most people trade their time for money. If we were the barista that I talked about, you would maybe make $15 an hour. If you trade your time, work for 2 hours, you get $15, that's $30 for 2 hours of your life. Most people think, oh, okay, I need to increase my income, so I'm gonna be a cardiologist or whatever, and so now I can make $200 an hour for those same 2 hours. That is really good thinking, and it's a great way to start. But if you really want to build wealth, you have to then take the money you earn and put it into assets, the stock market, or different things that will make you have more money over time. And that is how people become rich. And you can literally make money while you sleep. Now, if you're interested in learning about this, I have an ebook. Feel free to comment below, ebook or investing, and I'm happy to share with you more information about it. I'm also going to be coming out with a YouTube video showing exactly how to invest and some of the things that I wish I would have known there. So if you're interested, feel free to check that out. All right, I'm going to share something that holds a lot of people back, and I see this all the time in the school systems. And it's normal. We're human. We want to fit in. We want people to like us. But be careful of that. If you are looking for validation from other people, have you heard of like keeping up with the Joneses? A lot of people live above their means. Remember this, you can only see how much a person spends. You do not know how much they earn. A lot of times we think if we see someone with designer clothes, a really big house, nice car, all of those things, we think they must be rich or wealthy. Could this be true? Yes. Could this be not true? Yes. So we need to be careful. A lot of people who are millionaires, they don't look as rich because they're investing their money in other things. Now, a lot of very wealthy people, they can do both, right? But it's just something to think about. And a lot of people, there's that you want to fit in. And I studied psychology, sociology, all of that stuff. So I get it. And I know all the reasons behind that. But you want to fit in and you want people to like you. But then you're going to be wasting all your money. You're wasting all your energy and you're living someone else's life and you're living for approval. So who cares what clothes you wear? Who cares what house you have? Like, what do you have inside of your heart? What do you have inside of your mind? Work on things that no one can take away from you, like your knowledge, like your inner peace, like your confidence, like those things. You're going to be so much better off. If you're constantly competing with other people, or if you're letting what other people say about you or think about you impact you, it's not going to be helpful and it's going to hurt your journey. So the main point of that is to not try to look rich, try to actually be rich. Okay, if you want to look nice, that's fine. If you want nice things, that's fine. But you always want to live below your means, and it's better to sacrifice up front and to gain more knowledge and invest in yourself so that you can have more money eventually. Going along with this, criticism doesn't come from above. What do I mean by that? So really rich, wealthy, and successful people, they're focused on that. They're focused on their health. They're focused on their relationships, their families. They're focused on serving other people and providing value. Because the more value you provide, the more money you will get. They're focused on that and positivity. If you have someone making fun of you, or even another child or a peer, that says a lot about them. Because most people who are happy with themselves, who feel good about themselves, who are thriving, aren't going to waste any time or energy, the most valuable assets, your time and your energy, on making fun of another person or bringing them down. And so instead, what I see often is these really great, capable people or students, and they get told something that you're stupid or you look ugly or whatever, and then they feel horrible about themselves. They're like, oh, I'm not stupid, or he called me that, or whatever. And this great person is now lost in their head. I've been there before. I totally get it. But remember, that person who said that comment is most likely 99% of the time insecure about themselves, having a problem with themselves. Whenever someone shows hate or rudeness or meanness or anything like that, I always stop and I'm like, wow, I wonder what's going on with them. Even students, as a teacher, I'm like, when I watch certain behavior, I'm like, what's going on with them? What's going on in their life? What's going on in their heart? Okay? So just please, if you ever have someone making fun of you or something, then know that it's probably not true. And extend compassion to somebody else, but go move on and crush it in your life. Revenge is never a good thing, but the best revenge is just living your life as you want to and being successful. I want you to always be thinking of value, value, value. How can you provide more value? Think about this even in the classroom. What type of students do well? What type of students are helpful? Students who are working hard. Students who are focused. Students who think creatively and outside of the box and are willing to share their ideas. Students who take risks. Students who offer to help. Students who are positive. Students who have a growth mindset, and instead of saying, I'm so stupid, I'm never going to figure this out, they think that they can get better because they can. Someone who is not providing as much value or support or help, I always say, are we helping or hurting? Helping or hurting right now, would be someone who is causing problems and throwing things and being mean to people or hurting people, not being focused, being distracted, all of those things. It's not helpful. So always be thinking of, how can I be more valuable? How can I help someone else? Oh, I can go learn this information and then I can go help people solve that problem. People are trying to feel better. People are trying to have problems solved. So if you can be the one who provides the solution and in a great way, that is going to bring more success towards you. We think about that even with inventors or people who provide a product. They're making your life better. Or entertainment, it's making your life better and more enjoyable because you have something fun to watch. So think about money and providing value in terms of value. How can you provide value to someone else? And what does that even mean? What do people want? Think of, what do they want? What do they need? And you will find the answers to a lot. Even though I'm talking about riches and building wealth, stuff is not going to make you happy. Yes, most rich people will tell you, I've been rich and I've been poor and I've been happier when I've been rich, because it takes away some of that financial dis-ease and you have more peace because you can take care of yourself. You can have more freedom and more choice. But all this stuff, if you don't have love, if you don't have peace within yourself, is never going to bring you what you think. And so don't be chasing all of the things, especially people who didn't grow up with a lot. They want to go chase all of that and then they realize it's not as cracked up as they thought it was. But find your why, find your reason. And it's okay to get rich. It's okay to get wealthy. Money makes you more of who you already are. So if you're a kind person, if you're a generous person, if you have more money, you get to be more generous. You get to give more. Who would you give to? If you had everything taken care of for yourself, what would you do with that extra money? Drinking, drugs, alcohol, partying, it's not all that's cracked up to be. It really isn't. And so I didn't really get too much into it, but I've lived a great life without it. But I've seen so many people really struggle. Or maybe you've experienced that and you've seen adults that have an alcohol problem and it changes them, or they get angry, or they get more stressed, right? It is not helpful. I'm actually a health and physical education teacher right now. And we talk about the basics: sleep, eating whole healthy foods, managing your stress, exercise. Like, those are the things that will make you feel good in life. And dopamine is actually released when you exercise, when you listen to your favorite music, things like that. Dopamine is what's given when you do drugs and such, but they have negative consequences. And so there's always a solution. If you're having a hard time in life, I can guarantee you're going to have a hard time in your life, or a struggle, or a problem. I don't want you to. That stinks. I hate having that happen. I've hated going through problems in my life. But know that going to people to help you, going to exercise is one of the best things you can do to help your mood, help your confidence, help you feel better. Seriously, I've been through times in my life where I've exercised and then times where I didn't. And for the first time when I didn't exercise as much, I started getting all these emotions and started feeling so stressed and anxious. And I never felt that before because I was super active. I didn't realize how much exercising was helping me. So there's so many natural things you can do and people to go to if you're struggling, instead of trying to escape your life or escape your problems by going to drugs, alcohol, things like that. And you can have fun sober. You can have fun without having to add all these substances into your life. I also wanted to share that character traits can be learned. So if you want to become more successful or richer or any of those things, you can actually learn those skills. For example, if you need to be patient or delay gratification to become wealthy, but someone told you, you're just impatient, you're so impatient, I wish you were more like your sister, right? Have you ever heard that? So you can actually learn how to be more patient. You can practice it. You can practice these skills. And so even if you don't have those skills or character traits yet, you can learn those things. I could talk to you guys for a long time. I have so many different tips and pieces of advice. And I know some of this might not have seemed like financial advice, but it really will help you in your life. So if you want to check out another video, I have this video here on how I will be a millionaire as a teacher in a couple of years. I hope it's helpful. You got this.